Okay, so I'm currently recording this from Dubai, and I'm an agency owner who owns a marketing agency making just under $50,000 per month currently. I'm recording this video because this was the position I dreamed of being in literally 1 year ago when I first started and quit my job. But I wanted to make this video to basically break down for people the raw, authentic truth of being an entrepreneur and what it's actually like. Because I know a year ago when I was looking at videos and maybe watching one like this, I literally thought it was the dream life and it was actually perfect. Not to say what we've achieved isn't great, and I'm very happy with the position we're at, but I feel like people need to see the real aspect of it and actually see the raw truth of what it's like as an entrepreneur, especially one when you're looking to grow fast. So my company literally went from zero this time last year to just under $50,000 a month. Well, actually, I think it was just over. We turned over £41,000 last month. And so the growth's been pretty rapid. Now, that comes at the sacrifice of a few things, most notably my time and my energy, right, and my effort. It's been focused on one thing and one thing only for the last year, and that's the business. Therefore, everything else suffers. And that's probably the first thing that's, a hard truth about if you actually want to be successful and grow a business, everything else in your life has to suffer. Unfortunately, it's just the truth. Not necessarily everything, but friendships will be harder. You'll have to cut out some friends. Seeing your family will be harder. You won't be able to spend as much time with your family. Maybe if you've got loved ones, maybe if you're in a relationship, it probably will suffer. Just because you have very limited time. And you can either balance everything perfectly and work on your business a couple of hours a day or 30 hours a week. But the truth is it won't grow properly. You have to be like super focused and obsessed with one thing to make it work. And especially in business, right? You have to be just so fixated on that goal of growing that everything else suffers. The reality is it's going to be extremely, extremely hard. And I've probably put 10 to 12 hours in a day, almost every day for a year to get to the point where we are now. Of course, we're going to go much further. I still feel like it's just the beginning. But with that, of course, comes all the work, the stress, and the bits that aren't so fun. No one talks about that though. Like, I would say all the flashy lifestyle, all the beach clubs, nice cars, watches and things like that, probably 5% of actual the reality. But it looks like 100% from the outside, because that's all people post on Instagram. I know this video is an exception, but I'm not gonna post on Instagram me just sitting down and working for 8 hours at my desk, because no one cares about that. But that's the reality and the truth of what it takes. It's very easy to get distracted by all the flashy things, really. And like, I remember when I first bought the watch, it's my first watch, first Rolex. I was so happy at the time. Well, I thought I would be, and then as soon as you get it, it's like, it's just another box that you tick basically, like being able to achieve something, you instantly look for the next thing. So like the pleasure and the joy that you get from things is not from actually getting to the end destination. I know this is super, super cliche, but it's basically speaking to myself a year ago when I first started. Like the bits you actually enjoy are the journey. I loved it last time I was here with my videographer, and just like, I wasn't in the position I am now. I was getting there, but it's just times like that that was so enjoyable. And even when I first got started, when I was literally getting my first couple of clients, it's probably the richest and happiest that I've felt. And now, obviously, we're progressing at a good rate, and the business is at a good rate. It feels a bit underwhelming, to be honest. It sounds so weird, but I'm very appreciative and very thankful and very grateful for everything we've got. But it's like, it's sort of, you tick the goal and then you think, what's next? So I think that's another downside. That's another like dark truth around being an entrepreneur, is that it's never really going to be enough, and you probably never be fully satisfied unless you like internally realize things and just are grateful for what you've got, which is what I try and do every day. But if you're someone that's very ambitious, you probably will never get to the point where you're actually happy with the things that are around you. You always want to be striving for more. So you'll struggle for time, you'll struggle for friendships. I'm making it sound like it's so bad. It's not that bad, but it takes a lot of work. And it's not what it looks like online. It's not you just make a couple of DMs, you send a couple of emails, you make a couple of cold calls, and you've got a client, and they're paying you $2,000 a month, and you just get 50 of those and you're sorted. There's all sorts of things, and you've got to manage people and manage people's expectations. What happens when that client leaves because they're not happy after 1 month? How do you prevent that from happening? How much work goes into that? How much do you have to learn about the actual skill first before you start executing? It's very difficult and it takes time. But ultimately, if you've got that drive inside you and you want it more than anything, you'll definitely make it happen. It's just really about getting your head down, getting to work, and understanding that it takes time. I think I've been maybe an exception of like how quick we've grown in a year. I know people are probably growing quicker than me, but it comes from all the sacrifice of time. I literally feel guilty if I enjoy my time, which sounds really messed up to say, but I feel like I should be working every second of every day. And it's one of those things I struggle with internally. It's just, should I be working right now? Should I be trying to grow the business? Should I be trying to recruit more people? As opposed to relaxing, spending time with my family or spending time with friends. And it's something that you've got to weigh up. So, you know, if you're looking to get into entrepreneurship, I definitely recommend it. You just have to understand that it's probably not going to be what it looks like in terms of what you've seen online and what you hope it's going to be like. But everything in life you've got to take with a pinch of salt, right? And ultimately you learn so much from the experience and you grow as a person. So to be honest, personally, I wouldn't have it any other way. I just feel like this is my mission, and this is why I've been put here, to work and grow this business and grow it to the point where we can exit for a large amount of money. That's the goal, and I'm saying it now because it's going to happen. But it's not all what it seems like. The entrepreneurship is not always just chilling at beach clubs, driving nice cars, buying watches and stuff like that. For the majority of the time, it's hard work that you don't want to do, but you get your head down, you get stuck in because you understand that that's what needs to be done to achieve the things you want. So I suppose that's really the dark side of the entrepreneurship world. People don't really see usually how much goes into things, and it's the same with all entrepreneurs I've met. I just had a podcast with a great guy, Cam, great recruiter, and he's exactly the same. Before he even got to the podcast, I prepared some questions, but he just hadn't had time to even look at them because we're literally one thing after another, non-stop. And you've got to have that mindset if you want to succeed and you want to grow quickly. You just have to be one thing straight off the other, no time to rest, no time for breaks, and ultimately sort of go against what some people tell you. Like, he was saying the same thing, which is what I was told by my parents, especially my mum. It's like, you need to relax sometimes, you need to slow down, because what are you working so hard for if you can't enjoy it? But I think that's something that all entrepreneurs will relate to. You just don't have the time, or you feel like you don't have the time to relax. Work needs to be done all the time, and you know, whether that's late at night, early in the morning, it just needs to get done. And I think there's a key denominator, common denominator, amongst people who really grow businesses and make it, you know, have a successful career. And it's just their ability to not stop at any obstacle, any hurdle. Just keep pushing forward every single day, even when things are going to shit. And it will happen. It 100% will happen to every one of you. If you're looking to grow a business, there will be a point where you think you want to give up. It will happen. But having the mindset and the discipline to just keep going no matter what is what will set you apart. And I've had that mindset and always will. Right? Nothing can be bad enough that it can't be solved. So you've just got to keep pushing forward, put in the work, put in the hours, and remember, all it takes is a bit of time. Let time elapse, let time do its thing. If you control those inputs every single day, you'll be able to scale heights way past what I've achieved in a year. And you'll be able to achieve really whatever you want to, but with the caveat that it comes from sacrificing other things in your life. So that's my little 10-minute or so raw talk conversation. But yeah, there might be some more of these. Appreciate you guys for listening.